A farewell function was organized by Medical Faculty Association on superannuation of Professor Samia Rashid, Principal Dean, Govt Medical College Srinagar on 31st of October 2022 in the auditorium of GMC Srinagar. The meeting was attended by heads of various departments, faculty members of Government Medical and Dental Colleges of Srinagar, officials from various sections of GMC Srinagar, and associated hospitals. Some employees of the Govt Unani Medical College Ganderbal also participated in this meeting. The meeting lasted for more than 2 hours and ended with a warm, emotional send-off to Professor Samia Rashid. Medical faculty and staff of GMC Srinagar and its associated hospitals are witness to the tireless and phenomenal services rendered by Professor Samia Rashid in the field of health and medical education. She worked as Principal Dean GMC Srinagar for more than 5 years and proved her mettle in the field of administration also. During her tenure, projects worth 30,905 lakhs were completed by various agencies. Speaking on this occasion, Professor Mohammad Saleem Itoo, General Secretary, Medical Faculty Association of Government Medical and Dental Colleges of Srinagar, gave an emotional lecture. Respected Professor Samia Rashid, Principal Dean Government Medical College Srinagar, heads of various departments of Government Medical College Srinagar, present and ex-faculty members, staff and students. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today we all have gathered here to bid farewell to our Principal Dean, Professor Samia Rashid. I feel honored and privileged to start this function and set a precedence for the future. Words are not enough to express her distinguished and phenomenal contribution in the field of health and medical education. Let me start with a couplet of Dr. Allama Iqbal to describe it. हजारों साल नरगिस अपनी बेनूरी पे रोती है बड़ी मुश्किल से होता है चमन में दीदवर पैदा. A graduate and postgraduate from GMC Srinagar,
Professor Samia Rashid joined medical faculty in August 1994 as lecturer. She was promoted as assistant professor in January 1999 and as associate in Jan 2005. She was promoted to the level of professor in January 2010. During her tenure, projects worth 3,905 lakhs were completed by various agencies like JKP, PCC, RNB. Ma'am, Medical Faculty Association acknowledges and recognizes your distinguished services. Thank you, ma'am, for your contribution for overall development of GMC and its associated hospitals. I, on behalf of MFA, GMC and GDC, wish you all the best for future life.
Today we have gathered here to celebrate the tenure of Professor Samia Rashid. Retirement is a regular feature in everybody's life, but one should retire with dignity and honor. That's the biggest achievement an employee can have and cherish for the later part of his life. And I have always adored her for this commitment towards her job and the patient care. What she got, she worked for it. It's not just seniority was a matter of chance, but she earned it, and she earned it out of hard work and commitment towards the job. Professor Samia has a versatile personality. She was senior to us, but we have seen how she would conduct herself in the academic meetings, outside the class, and informal gatherings.
There was always development from academic as well as institution, like a lot of equipment which has been brought into the hospital, and the institute has gone up to such a high level that we are among the best hospitals in India. I was going through this planning. It's more than 1,000 crores has been spent during her time, which has not been done anywhere. So she has raised the bar for other principals in coming, and I wish you have good luck and happiness. Thank you.
Mahmood sir, respected Sajjad sir, President MFA, respected HODs and faculty, non-faculty members who are present here. Assalamu alaikum. I've known Professor Samia for nearly 4 decades now, and today I'm reminded of our college days. Once she was a senior of ours, and I still see her as a girl who was extraordinarily brilliant in her studies and extraordinarily as a person. Then I had the good fortune of being a faculty member. We joined together as faculty members. We were very young those days. I had the privilege of attending some of the meetings where developmental work was being assessed by different colleges of the state. And you'll be surprised to know ours was #1. I am reminded of one occasion when the then ACS, he reprimanded each and every principal of every college for not having utilized their funds, and our utilization was around 80%. So, she has left behind a long list of achievements and accomplishments. But Madam, I should personally miss you. That is all I want to say. I wish her good luck, good health, happiness, and good health to her and her entire family. Thank you.
Now I can read the faces. Everybody is getting emotional. To express our emotions, let's once again get up before calling our principal ma'am for her speech.
Thank you very much. I did what I thought was the best for the college, and I want this college to be ranked as one of the best in the world, because I had started review meetings. Unfortunately, because of COVID and because of the way I was removed that time, it stopped. I started a modality meeting. I would want that things should come back into here, and we should again start modality meeting once in a month, review meetings of the day in different departments, so that departments also know there are certain problems each department faces, and they are not able to come, and the principal is not aware of it, so that there is one-to-one interaction along with the planning and the accounts people. I wish the college rises to its height, and I wish you all the best. I'm really very overwhelmed. Thank you very much. I don't want to create this. Also know there are certain problems each department faces, and they are not able to come, and the principal is not aware of it, so that there is one-to-one interaction along with the planning and the accounts people. I would wish, or I wish the college rises to its height, and I wish you all the best. I'm really very overwhelmed.
पीछे थोड़ा फोटो के बस आ रेडी
I can read the faces, everybody is getting emotional. To express our emotions, let's once again get up before calling our principal ma'am for her speech. Thank you.
I had started review meetings, unfortunately because of COVID and because the way I was removed that time it stopped. I started a modality meeting. I would want that things should come back into here and we should again start modality meeting once in a month, review meetings of the daily different departments, so that departments also know there are certain problems each department faces, and they are not able to come, and the principal is not aware of it, so that there is one-to-one interaction along with the planning and the accounts people. Or I wish the college rises to its height, and I wish you all the best. I'm really very overwhelmed. Thank you very much. I don't want to delay this speech. Thank you.
नो डॉक्टर साहब नो सारे जितने भी है ना वो जो आए वो सारे बस रेडी यू पे अगर नॉट टू दैट बे what one क्या ना बस रेडी पीछे थोड़ा फोटो बस रेडी
This meeting concluded at around 3:40 p.m., but on the directions of some senior faculty members, Dais was again opened by Dr. Saleem.
Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of Department of Ethics, I am speaking here today. I personally had a long exchange with Dr. Samia Rashid. I started interacting with her when she was principal and I was professor of the department. Then I was head and she was the principal. You can understand her commitment to the college and her commitment to the faculty. I just want to narrate a couple of incidents. One of them was when I was COVID positive. Those days, COVID positive meant like a death certificate. It was a time when Delta was at its peak. And I was admitted to Christian nursing home, though asymptomatic. And those days, none of the relations would come near me. Anybody who was declared positive, nobody will go to their house for days or weeks. But I remember Madam Samia coming next morning to Christian nursing home into my room. That was the kind of commitment she had towards the faculty and to us. We are here today in pediatric hospital, 500-bedded pediatric hospital. It was our dream for which we have been working for the last 17 years. And clearly, you know, when we almost got it and Guru sir agreed and it was done in SAC, after that there were people after it. And it was she who blocked the proposal of somebody else who wanted to take over the hospital. And we are there today because of her. Pediatric department will be there to her. Principals here, it's full of a lot of headaches. It's not easy being head of a family. She has behaved like head of a family. What I liked about her was her decisiveness. She would take decisions. That she had demanded decisions. Some people may be happy with, some people may not be happy with, but we got to take decisions. And she was not scared of taking decisions. That's what we admire. That's the reason developing the college, that's the reason we got this college. I worked with her as chairman of sports of the college, and whenever we had any issues, be it sports, be it for the department, she was always one step ahead, guiding, helping, and providing whatever support we need. We'll always remain thankful to her. Thank you, madam. I wish you all the best, good health, and success hereafter. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. And Prof. from Department of Pediatrics. I have started my career as house officer under Dr. Saleem. It's a long way. It was 1992. Those years he was our registrar, then the junior consultant. And if I have learned anything, it's from that unit and from those 6 months of my house job under the and Samia. We were 3 house officers there, but the amount of work which Dr. used to do, we all 3 together were not able to do that. So that was the thing, that was the commitment, and if I have learned anything, it's from those 6 months of my house job in your unit, which was headed by Dr. I personally am highly thankful when I was asked by Dr. sick, and I was treated by the
was the end of an era. And I felt like that this line sums it all. All the previous speakers, Professor Pisa and others, they already highlighted the magnanimous contribution by the principal to this institution. And I don't need to tell you about the impeccable integrity, or honesty, or dedication, and ability. We all know it. Well, my personal experience with Dr. Saleem spans over a period of over 3 decades. I worked under her as an external and internal medical one. In those days, the medical one was headed by our esteemed ex-principal, Professor G. And while working under her, I found her a very dedicated, compassionate teacher, and very inspiring teacher, a dedicated doctor. And over the years, my association with her grew stronger and stronger, from being my teacher to my guide, my mentor, and myself. I had to learn for all the encouragement and guidance throughout all these years, for having faith and trust in me, and for making many things possible for me with your help. I'm really indebted to you for all those things. And then you will remain with fond memories as a great human being, man. And
I don't want to say much, but it's really going to be an emotional moment for me too, because our association was a very long one, and she has been like an elder sister to me. At 4 o'clock, almost every day, before she took over the chair, we used to meet Professor Mufti, Professor Tanveer, me and Madam near the tuck shop, and then we used to just take those few moments away from the schedule that we had during that day. The stress is just few jokes, few lines, and today you're going, ma'am, I feel emotional.
Samia Rashid, I have known her since childhood, off and on, I think. Our fathers used to work and they were transferred to the same places, I think 2 or 3 times. But I don't remember that much. But I remember her as a very awesome senior and one to be looked upon. Then we had an association once she was principal and I became HOD. It was a very nice association. She would always point out the faults in a very sisterly manner and very nicely, and she would always be very helpful. One thing is there that she changed the plan of the building. I was nodal officer of that, and she really changed it to a better place. And that was very good. That shows her vision, because it was to be put at some place where it would be very detrimental for whole of the building and everything. So she's a visionary. She did improve the medical college rating, and I really will miss her and her advices. Thank you, ma'am. I wish all the best to you for your second innings. Wish you are healthy, happy.
I was the registrar and she would be the consultant, even as AP on call. And if I would have a medical call and finding Dr. Samia on call would be a blessing. Because she would never hesitate in coming, even for maybe sometimes she would feel that the call was unjustified. And I would run after her to learn more. I salute her academic nature, her commitment to her patients. I've never seen a no from her as a consultant when she would be on call, even as an AP. Today, people who become lecturers today, tomorrow they start abusing the gynecologist. Why have they seen the call? I have never seen such a nature with her. And I remember the episode of a hospital theatre getting gutted. And my unit was on emergency. There were too many views which people took. And in fact, I took the decision, requested her that we need to shift the patients cannot make the theatre operational. But the administrative side was on the opposite. They wanted that, they said that we'll operationalize the theatre within half an hour, within 1 hour. But I had a patient who had been given spinal anesthesia and she was waiting in the queue. There were 3 patients, one was about to rupture. Then another previous 2 scars, 3 patients were about to rupture, and if a quick decision would not be taken, I could only request the prerogative would lie with her to shift the theatre. Already people had come that she's creating a fuss, we'll make the theatre operational. But I went to her and I said, Madam, there will be a catastrophe, we need to shift the patients. And she said, okay. Despite the fact the administrative side was against shifting the theatre, and alhamdulillah, it proved effective in patient care. And unfortunately, we could not make the theatre operational for another 3 months. So I appreciate her, as others also mentioned, that her decision making has been great. And I respect her as an academician, and will continue to do that. I wish you, madam, happiness, peace, and a loving life with your family, which you have mostly missed in your career aspects. Thank you very much. This space is full of joy and happiness. This is what we really dream of. Everything has been said about you. There's nothing left, but I can say that we have been together since our school days. We were like friends. And whenever as HOD I would come to your room, you would not treat me as a principal. You were treating me as the same old friend of the school days. This really I appreciated. And whatever problems I came to you really helped to solve the problems. And I'm very thankful for you to give genetics labs to the Department of Anatomy, which had been my dream, and you're really. Thank you so much, and wish you best of luck, best of health, and best of happiness.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Professor Dr Mohammad from Anatomy.
And I have few glimpses right from beginning. When I was a student, she was in the ward care of Dr. Saleem. She was always going between the beds, and that shows her dedication to the work. And subsequently, when she became the principal, and I also became professor. Once I had to submit the fellowship application, and I approached her. Previously, that application was reluctantly forwarded by the ex-principal at that time. That was rejected. So when I told her that I forwarded the application, she lovingly said, okay, you tell me what I have to write, and she asked the computer assistant to write whatever he wants, and finally that application got accepted. That was a very appreciative gesture of her, and subsequently for last 2 months I am as HOD, and many times I went to her and I saw her that she has a great love for this college. Yesterday I met her and she told you, you are in charge of the civil lab, you have not done anything for that, do that job. Otherwise she was telling one day, she would have said, what is the day he will do? But she has the dedication, she has the love, and she has the affection of the college, even on the last day. That is very passionate. I wish her best of luck.
Thank you, sir. Now let us go alphabetically. I request Dr. Hina from Anesthesia Department.
Ma'am, I remember you for the first time when I was doing my, when I went for my clinical rotation classes, and you were our teacher. I used to take clinical classes for at least 3 hours, and I remember you in the family way, and I would always look at you and admire you. Like, I would get tired in half an hour, 1 hour, and you would go on and on for 3 hours, and every time I would really, really admire you. You are the strongest woman ever, and the best doctor I've ever seen in my life. Always have a lot of love and respect for you. Ma'am, I remember how you treated me as a younger sister when we went to Delhi for the Munirka conference. Every day you took such good care of me, and I love being with you, traveling with you. You're a wonderful person. Thank you, ma'am, for being there for us always.
Thank you. Everybody has spoken much about Madam. We have seen her as an administrator, as a doctor, but I have unfortunately seen him as a patient, and she behaved like a patient at that point of time. We doctors, I think, are the worst type of patients, but she never interfered with our treatment protocol. At that point of time, even we administered some painful memories at that point of time, but she never said or never interfered with our treatment protocol. I wish her all the best, ma'am, and she worked so hard during these years along with us. She was the only person who used to come to our hospital and even enter the wards when the rest of the faculty members, patients, attendants were even not going near to the hospital. So, thank you, ma'am.
I hope you shift to the new hospital now as well.
Inshallah, with modifications, it's all for the patient's benefit.
Yeah,
with all the modifications.
I want you to shift there as early as possible so that it is the best. They were calling me up today, Madam, what do you have to do with the CDOS plus? That's only for tuberculosis patients and for infectious disease. We are not going to give it. No, Madam, you need it as a wellness center. I said, nothing doing. Please don't leave CD and go to this GP Pant and take it over. I'm very proud to tell you that Dr. Shaheen was so keen to have the genetic lab, and Dr. Samia Rashid was so keen to have lab track system. I'm very, very pleased to tell you that both these things matured and we have to do that. It was first in India, lab track system, in the government sector. In the private sector it is there, but this is first in the world in the government sector. And the genetic lab has been the dream of Dr. Shaheen, and when she left, she told me that we need the genetic lab. And we have, mashallah, we have tendered it, it has come to a person, and it will be started very soon. We have sent their technicians as well as doctors for training to institute, and with the cooperation of Dr. Dais, we have been able to train them, and we will start, inshallah, genetic lab in our department. I'm very pleased.
My interaction with Madam was once I was an extern way back in 1989 in Ward 3, and Madam was the postgraduate. She was the postgraduate in that unit headed by Prof. That was the time when females would not take medicine. Everybody would take gynae obs, and so she was the trendsetter, and we all used to look at her in awe. That medicine used to be like a domain of males, and females doing post-graduation was something trendsetter, I would say. And after that, people have started going for other medical specialty. Like for everybody, female doctors were associated with gynae obs only. So that was the changing point. And Madam, I really thank her on behalf of the Department of Dermatology for uplifting our dermatology labs in Block F, upgrading our Ward 4, and being always helpful to us. Thank you, ma'am, for being always helpful in upgrading the department. On a personal front, I wish you good health, happiness, success, prosperity, and success in all your future endeavors. Thank you, ma'am.
And the dignitaries in on the news. Today morning I received a message from the MFA group that our esteemed ma'am is she will get in superannuation. Although I am from Govt Medical College, we don't know much, we are not supporting much interaction with the officer GMC. But as from our department, we are highly thankful to the Department of Emergency Services, which has helped us a lot in developing the department. And I don't know something to write. In the early morning, many messages we received of superannuation of many people. But there is something divine in ma'am. That from the morning, I try to motivate my colleagues to come here and join this celebration. So many of our friends, they came here, and I am convinced that something very special and divine is with ma'am. And many of our friends, they will also, they are with me for this moment. And finally, I, on behalf of my HOD, Professor Ajaz Shah Sahab, I thank them for all the support, ma'am. And we, as a department, and we all are thankful. And lastly, I don't know much about the entry because I was much late in this campus. But this is saying that the exit it is highly dignified. So I am fully convinced that entry definitely might have been very much more than dignified. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor Manzoor HOD.
Good afternoon, everyone. My association with Crystal Ma'am has been on a personal friend and a professional friend. Personally, she will always treat me like a younger brother. She has been a teacher for 30 honors. Much has been said about the academic and administrative part, but at least something which how I describe her. My late mother, who used to be her patient, will always adore her and look once she will examine her, and once she will leave, she will say how dignified she is. She will say humility is a virtue and not everybody has it. Then she will advise my daughter that be humble, be gracious, be dignified, be modest and hard working, dedicated like her in her life, and always pursue this goal. And on a personal front, she has always helped me. But as a faculty and a head of department, many a time, say for example, I have approached her. She has been quite helpful to the department. I may see she has moved a step up in getting things done for us. She has always been part of the solution rather than part of the problem. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon to all of you. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity to say a few words here. Since Dr. Saleem the second time opened for many people to be here. I have started my house job since Madam has been made synonymous with the Ward 3. I never had the opportunity to do the house job in the medicine or my organization. I have started my house job from overjoint, long bones, then the simple bones of neurosurgery and then the boneless department of ophthalmology. We became very close to Madam because Dr. Samia is in our department, so we had a very close association we have in the department, and with that, things moved on, and meanwhile she became the principal, and we usually frequent visitors to her office in connection with our team departmental affairs, and since then association has developed, and we have seen her working always busy with resolving the issues of the faculty, students, conducting the examination on time despite many odds, and especially when there was a difficult time in the medical department in the COVID times, and we have seen her personally suffering because of the COVID and merely escaping from that. That was a very testing time for all of the medical faculty, and Madam has worked very, very hard in association with all the departments, and she took everybody along, and we have somehow managed to come out of that mess, and it was a very difficult process. Personally, we have known Madam, and I have seen her decisions. I have sometimes, we are not, or we have so many difficulties in the department. We have been given so much of equipment as in the other departments. She has tried to upgrade and strengthen every department. I don't think that any department which can have any greater, there may be some difficulties. Personally, our department, we have been upgraded, we have started many new things. We have so much of equipment now. We are at par any other good institution in the country. Thank you very much for that. And I wish Madam good health, happy life, and iman after this. May Allah bless you. Now, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Professor Afroz. Now I said about it.
The way of giving the man farewell was itself speaking what was the credentials of our principal man, respected Professor Samia Rashid. So that is evident. I am not a good orator, But the thing is that the love, the people whosoever came, the auditorium was full, means she has definitely contributed to this medical school in every way. Every department has been upgraded and we are at par with the international standards. This is all contribution goes to Professor Samia Rashid, and because whenever I was going to her for the patient care, she never rejected, although if the budgetary constraints were there in crowds, but she was saying if it is for the patient care, she was silent, blindfold. So, and what I miss the thing that one of the important thing about ma'am, I would say that I love her prescription. Because that prescription is total Hutchinson's manual. I love that because my late mother was her patient, and when I see her prescriptions often now, so that's my great thing because ma'am has a good way. Otherwise, people come write prescriptions and continue same. But she writes full history, physical examination, and diagnostic backup. So work of the patient on that small 10 rupees ticket. Thank you, ma'am. We will miss you. And but another thing I will say that ma'am is not superannuated. She has a second unit to play. She's a very good physician, and this is the only advantage to the doctors. Otherwise, bureaucrats enjoy their whole life, 60 years, and this is the only advantage to the doctors that they never superannuate. So our services are retired, and we wish her best of luck, and she will be our ideal model for the upcoming projects and for the development of our medical school. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Professor Bilal. Now I request Professor Dr Rashid from Pediatric Surgery.
I used to have a long association with ma'am. When I joined college, I think ma'am had already joined the Department of Medicine. And she has always been an inspiration. As Hina said, I too have seen in first days of my studentship in this college, a young, beautiful, pregnant lady, and looking after her patient is so dedicated. So, although I was not up to those inspirations, I couldn't do justice to my studentship as a medical student in this college. I have given a very tough time to that unit, which madam worked in when I was an extern, then an intern, and then doing my house job with the same unit. I regret for that, and I'm sorry for that. Then second, alhamdulillah, I got a chance to work as a faculty member. I did post-graduation from other institutions and super specialty courses from outside. And alhamdulillah, I had a chance to come back to the institution I was trained from. कहा जाता है कि all is well that ends well. आगाज सबका होता है और सब अच्छे अंजाम की दुआएं मांगते हैं। अंजाम अच्छा हो और उसका जो अच्छा आगाज हो और अंजाम अच्छा हो, यही सोने पे सुहागा है। और इन दोनों चीज़ों की अगर आप एक मिसाल और एक तस्वीर देखना चाहते हैं, दैट इज प्रोफेसर सामिया रशीद। मैं सिर्फ मैम से गुजारिश करूँगा कि हमारी गुस्ताखियाँ, आपकी मेहरबानियाँ सब एक मकसद के लिए थी कि ये इंस्टीट्यूशन बेहतर से बेहतर हो। मैं हमेशा गुस्ताख रहा हूँ, उसके लिए माफ़ी चाहता हूँ, लेकिन ये लम्हा जब मैं जिसका ये ऑडिटोरियम भी गवाह है और सब लोग यहाँ गवाह हैं, जब मैं आपसे इस वक्त जा रहा हूँ, वल्लाह खुशी के साथ जा रहा हूँ कि यही लम्हा और इसी की याद इतनी सारी खुशियाँ देगा कि हम सब पुरानी चीज़ें भूल जाएंगे। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Very good afternoon, friends. It was a very hectic OPD. I just left it because I could not have missed this opportunity. I saw Manzoor, Bilal, Razi Saab, actually, you know, the emotions with which they talked here are our, you know, you should have seen us with Ma'am and Tanveer sir during wars. And we are what they made us. I always say this, because, you know, they joined faculty, you know, heads Hina as well. So all of us, you know, have had days with them, both of them. Tanveer sir, where we adored them, we followed them. You could see that, you know, how we conduct ourselves, you know, prescriptions, the way we do things. So there's a lot of Tanveer sir and Samia madam there. You know, I know ma'am since 92 December. My granddad was admitted in Ward 3, and ma'am is synonymous with Ward 3. So, nobody said any other one. So, you know, this is a very, you know,
Ward 9, Ward.
You know, I had come from a village, nobody knew me in medical college. There was this one Dr Bashir Loon, who was ma'am's batchmate. Dr Bashir Loon, ma'am. So both of them were PGs in Ward 3. And Dr Bashir Loon, someone knew me. So, you know, so I was whole day with Dr Bashir Loon, and then probably it was winter night and 7:38. I went to Ward 3. He took me to hostel, I had dinner with him, and then we came back. And there was this one female doctor working the patient. 92 December and 7:30, and she was working up. And somebody came with dinner for her. Many of the PGs would have worked like that. You know, I know that most of the postgraduates of that time, they never thought of 10 to 4 duties. There will be wards, we know that. But continuing that for 30 long years is something. I mean, you could have seen ma'am from last 30 years actually coming at the same points of time to the ward and seeing patients with such grace and dignity. And, you know, we adore that. So, you know, regarding department, you know, ma'am has always been a help. You know, there have been agreements, the second, they're part of it. What we many times do is we destroy our relationships on disagreements. You know, we have disagreements among each other. And what we do is that many times we take those disagreements to levels, personal levels, and then destroy relationships. We had lots of disagreements with ma'am. No, I had lots of disagreements. I did not agree with ma'am's decision of actually giving a day addiction center to the for COVID. But that happens that, you know, I discussed, I debated, she did not agree, she took a decision, that's fine. No, all of us actually have to differentiate between personal, the collective responsibilities, and not take personal disagreements to the levels to where we start undignifying our teachers, trying to get them down, our colleagues, and do it in public. And when we point a finger in public towards one of our colleagues, one of our teachers, remember that 4 fingers are pointed towards you. Remember that always. You know, you know, because of, you know, probably among all of you faculty, you know, I am more social, I have lots of friends outside. You know, I feel so bad. What happens is that, you know, I famously remember this song, and I know that there's scarcity of time. You know, we have become this achun ko bura sabit karna. We have to do that by compulsion. All of our teachers are great people. You know, the Samia Band is great. Everybody of us is, you know, my teachers, my colleagues are great. They are working for this institution. You know, people who have left this place and people who have stayed here and working hard, they can't be ordinary people. It's not easy to work here. It's so difficult to be part of this whole system and work. It's very difficult. And once one of us rises, try to imbibe that. Do not feel envious, do not feel jealous. We envy, we start jealousy, and then we become paranoid about it. Please don't do that. Please do not bring your own people down in public spaces. Disagreements are fine. We should have disagreement. That has to be within our faculty, within our institution. but getting them to the labs where we are constantly, I remember this song, Achun Ko Bura Sabat Karna has become part of us. Thank you, ma'am, for everything you did for us.
Already got all this before, and we have many other assignments back home, but it shows how much you are attached with ma'am, that you are still holding up the chairs. Thank you, Dr. Ma'am, with all the reverence with which she fought for the stature of GMC Srinagar along all these 4 and 5 years. She fought with the bureaucracy, she fought with the bureaucracy, she fought with the bureaucracy, and she lost a lot of people in the friendship list. It's all not because of her personal reasons, but for collective growth and development of this institution. Let's pledge to carry on that so that we uphold our stature and professionalism in future also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor Rashid Ganai.
Whosoever has come to this place as MBBS student, that means everybody has a potential to come to the place of this highest estate. And she has been always very kind, dedicated. I remember the day when I started my posting again in Ward 3. Ward 3 was the only ward in Western. Everybody talk about Ward 3, they would get posted as consultants in Ward 3, I don't know about that. So she took our class on Saturdays. That was the first class I negotiated, and it was a wonderful thing. And we wish her all the best in her life, in future life. As a part of administration, I have been serving as a warden, Dr. for some time now. I would say that she never got carried away by any pressure or mounting any pressure on us to give space to any person out of turn or out of it. So thank you, Madam, for she was always committed and dedicated, and this is not for me, it is for all of us to see and what work she has done. And carry all departments. Administrator cannot make everybody happy. So it's a part of life. We may have sometimes there are certain things which are beyond your, there are limitations also. But overall, she has been wonderful. And all departments have grown during her tenure. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
I had the privilege of working under ma'am as a student and then as a faculty. As a student, I would honestly admit that I had remembered the Hutchison's review of systems only because of ma'am. And that helped me in my post-graduation and even in my postdoctoral case presentations. And that legacy is still with my students because I have that copy preserved with me. And as faculty, I would just admit this, that my department was carved out of nothing in super specialty department. Department of Surgical Gastroenterology, super specialty hospital, Govt Medical College, this time holds a place in the state. And that is all because of improvement. Thank you, ma'am, from the Department of Surgical Gastroenterology and from in person from the Srinagar. Thank you, ma'am.
I will say only 2 things. Everybody thought that we have long association with madam, but I say I have very short association. I joined here in 2015 and only 8 years here. I have both personal as well as I work as a warden, boys hostel, boys, not boys but boys. Being the junior most person, as a lecturer I was appointed. Whatever difficulties and whatever things, from small to large, madam tackled everything very nicely and helped me at every point. From renovations of mess, constructions of new buildings, to the electricity, to the road, everything, madam helped me and helped these issues very nicely. Second thing, when I lost my grandmother here, it was madam's personal effort that I am from very far from Gandipura, Pokhara. Madam personally visited my home along with all of the unit that I will remember. I thank madam and everybody and I wish her a successful, एक बेहतरीन सेहत, ईमान और आफियत वाली जिंदगी और आखिरत best wishes.
we joined as medical students, Department of Medicine got these awards. Madam was already working as junior lecturer in the department, and then Professor Parvez Shah, Professor Masood Tanir and Professor Samia joined Department of Medicine. If I am a physician, I want to become an orthopedist. I would say that I am a physician only because of working with these 3 stalwarts of medicine. Medicine department we feel like being orphans. Parvez already left, Madam leaving us today, and Masood Sahab still with us, and we hope we enjoy his patronage. So, very importantly, whenever I would get a madam's prescription during my MD thesis, during my MD while working on cases, I would not think of right or left. I would just copy that prescription. And it continued till today. When a patient is admitted in our ward and prescription has been written by Professor Samia, I tell my postgraduates to just copy it and paste it on your files because there is already everything written in it already. And I believe you. I have seen your innumerable patients after that you have practiced. They will be coming back very soon because I have only written repeat all after that. I have continued that repeat all. So, it's a very emotional moment for the Department of Medicine. I personally say that I am yet to see such a dedicated and a far excellent clinician in my life. She would always be there, and always be there. I remember our residents going on strike in the middle of the COVID. It was a terrible and a horrible time. We had more than 250 patients admitted in Department of Medicine. And believe me, Madam along with had the units, and I would always be there. So, taking round from 8:30 to 11 p.m. in the dead of the night, and once Madam took off her PPE, she was all drenched in sweat. We salute you all for all the dedication, and I am honored that I have been your student. Thank you, Madam, for being right there for us, and I wish you a brilliant second innings to come. Thank you.
It's much late, I think. I should not take much of your time. I know ma'am only from last 13 years. As I'm in faculty from last 13 years. I wish ma'am a happy, healthy and prosperous and peaceful post-retirement life. Ma'am, you are going. It is emotional scene. Only I can say, नहीं तेरा नशीमन कसर सुल्तानी की गुंबद पे तो शाहीन है बसेरा कर पहाड़ों की चट्टान। Thank you. Thanks everyone.
Teamwork, your graciousness, your friendliness, we are going to miss it. You are someone one has to look up to. I have never seen a female with a fighting spirit like you in my career. I have never been part of this college earlier. I joined this college 3 years back. But I don't know why something attracts me towards you. हमारे में बोलते हैं सवा लाख से एक लड़ाऊं फिर गोविंद सिंह नाम पर. I think this quote fits on you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Manvi. मैं आपके सामने क्या बोलूं, लेकिन मेरी एक पर्सनल रिलेशन रही है मैम के साथ. मेडिकल रिकॉर्ड डिपार्टमेंट को हमने कंप्यूटराइज किया बिकॉज ऑफ मैम. 2018 में हमने किया था. एक दिन मैम ने मुझे ओपीडी में बुलाया था. तो ये टिकट पार्किंग के अलावा मैं खुद रही थी, बट ही वाज रहमान. अब ये तो आदत थी लिखनी थी ओपीडी, हमने ऐसा पढ़ा. फिर मैंने इसको कहा मैम अगर हम कंप्यूटर्स हो, मैं भी एक थोड़ा सा जानता हूँ इसमें थोड़ा सा करें. इसने बोला अभी करो. एंड आई रिमेंबर उसने मुझे बोला ये प्लेन चेक उसने अपने अकाउंट से मेरे को दिया. बोला ये लो चेक करो इसको कंप्यूटर. मैंने इसको मैंने प्रोजेक्ट ये बनाया कि मैम इसमें इतना लगता है 2-2.5 लाख में हमको. उसने बोला ये लो चेक. और वो मेरे को लगभग 2-3 दिन चेक जेब में ही था जब तक कि इसका सिस्टम हो गया. और आज के डेट में हमने मेडिकल रिकॉर्ड को कंप्यूटराइज किया. आज की डेट में 30 लाख पेशेंट्स और कंप्यूटराइज्ड इन SMHs. ओपीडी रजिस्ट्रेशन 30 लाख और बाकी भी है. और एक सिंगल क्लिक पर हम आपको हर एक फैकल्टी को, हमारा मेरा एक ग्रुप बना हुआ, हर एक फैकल्टी को मैं हर मंथली रिपोर्ट देता हूँ, उससे उनको आइडिया मिलता है कि हम कितना, लेकिन इट इज़ ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ प्रिंसिपल मैम। और सबसे जो हमें सपोर्ट मिला, इनको रूम में बोला यू आर एवरी टाइम फ्री टू कम टू माई ऑफिस। और सेकेंडली जो सबसे अच्छा हुआ, जो सेकंड हुआ कि जो भी फैकल्टी में हमें 100% सपोर्ट किया। मुफ्ती साहब, डॉक्टर सलीम साहब, डॉक्टर इफ़त मैम, डॉक्टर मंजूर साहब, इन्होंने हमें बहुत सपोर्ट किया। अगर सब फैकल्टी का सपोर्ट हमें नहीं होता, आज के डेट में हमें 30 लाख रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं होती। और दूसरी बड़ी बात जो हमने की, जो हमारा केस शीट था, एक पेशेंट से लगा 5 केस शीट। एक दिन मैम ने बोला इसको थोड़ा हम करेंगे, फिर मैंने 5-6 केस शीट लाए थे दूसरे हॉस्पिटल से। डॉक्टर मीर सर थे, मैम थी, उन्होंने बोला कि एक केस शीट हमने नया बनाया, जो आज कल इट्स बिकॉज ऑफ डॉक्टर मीर सर, डॉक्टर। आज के डेट में हमारा फर्स्ट टाइम इन द हिस्ट्री ऑफ SMHS कि हम कंप्यूटराइज हैं। एंड पर्सनली आई मिस यू मैम।
Nobody is talking. So to say one more thing, in our tenure, on 13 we have done 2 transfer, that's successful transfer. I have worked with anybody. And we are missing her, the way she is the great academician. You can see her, during her tenure, all her case sheets were filled up. And even private practice. Private clinicians are very much minded. They can write simple things. But during her private practice, she can fill up 4 cards or her legs. You just see, she has not taught. I will tell you, she has not taught. But she has taught passively. Because reading her case sheets and prescriptions, the way she is writing. And you can see the clinician. We are missing her too much. You can see, I have organized a conference. Every year was nobody. This was all empty. Now you can see the greatness of her, how much stature he has. You can see this whole auditorium filled up, and everybody is waiting for her. We are missing her too much.
Thank you, sir. So before concluding,
the traditional medicine, एक ही बात मैं कहना चाहूँगा। मैम ने हमारे कॉलेज का भी चार्ज दिया था 1 मार्च 2020 में, और इनकी मदद और इनकी काविशों से हमारा एक कॉलेज भी यहाँ गांधरबल में एस्टैब्लिश हो गया। मुझे इनकी शफकत, इनकी मोहब्बत बहुत सताएगी, और मुझे इंशाल्लाह उम्मीद है कि प्रोफेसर तनवीर साहब भी इनकी तरह ही हमें गाइड करेंगे और हम आगे बढ़ेंगे। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you everybody for attending this meeting.